smoke too, but I was in special forces for 20 years. I've been physically active.
It's not as bad as like a pan pipe. Those pan pipes.
Oh, those are work, man.
Your mind.
These things do some really interesting physiological things, and that's part of why I use them for therapy. When you play, when you get tones, the whole thing vibrates. I'll let you experience this. Just hang on, put a bone in your knuckle somewhere on it. Yeah, that'll work. Feel that vibration?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
It vibrates through your jaw, bone induction. And
Yeah.
it vibrates the glands in your face and in your skull. And
Wow.
there's a bunch of them. A whole lot of them. But
Play any didgeridoo?
Yeah,
You
dude.
do?
I'm not real good at it, but I love it, man.
I've got a few of those in here.
Do you really?
Yeah, well, just the Toka one, you know.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's cool. Well, I mean, these are a lot like a didge this way. When you play a didgeridoo, it's really, the instrument is more a combination of the person and the instrument. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's
For sure.
a lot more than like a 6-string that might be. Although a 6-string, I've heard some really good flamenco guitar where the guy and the instrument were one piece. You know?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's good.
Well, these things, if I pass this off to somebody else who knows how to play next to me, if they're playing it right, it's going to sound a lot different when they play. And these are things that I'm noticing about it. These things are really mysterious. There's a lot to learn. I had no idea. And my first exposure to them was my martial arts teacher when I was about 9. And I still practice that martial art. I have since I was about 4.
How'd you learn to make them?
Well, that was a little bit more of a trick. Some of it's trial and error, and some of it was experience watching other people build them. But mathematically, they're all identical. I use the Shakuhachi formula to build them all, but they're not all Shakuhachis. During the 15th century or so, Japan went through this metamorphosis where everything became super ceremonial. And so, as a result, a shakuhachi has to be 54.5 centimeters, or it's not a shakuhachi. It's something different.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But they're all mathematically that way. Also, the style, like this is a shakuhachi style, but it's too big to be one.
Mm-hmm.
And these are more Chinese flute styles.
So, how do you lay out the tone holes when you have all the different?
I've got an
sizes?
equation that based on the length. This is how I build them. The first thing I do is I'll figure on an approximate length that looks or feels right, and then I'll cut the flute at the top. After I get the mouthpiece kind of sorted out where it's right and I can make sound out of it, but it's not identical to all the rest of them. We'll get into that later.
Yeah.
After I get sound out of it, then I play it and I listen to the tones. And what I'm listening for or feeling for is a vibration. When it happens, when I feel it, I've got it at the right length. Like this one started out about that much longer. And I shaved off some more and shaved off some more and opened up the hole at the bottom until I got it right. When I get that one right, then you relative tune off the rest of them. Mm-hmm. But there's a math equation that puts your hole in the right place. Then you're just working on the diameter.
Adjust the diameter.
Yeah, and that's how you tune it.
Yeah.
And I don't tune them. I tune them irregularly because I'm looking for vibrations and I'm looking for harmonious frequencies.
Right.
I have an ear for that, so that's kind of what I go for with them. But
so play one of the high ones.
Yeah, sure. Now the really high ones down here are a little bit more difficult. I'm going to try to get some sound out of them. I made these for kids to be able to play. This is part of the experiment with the 7, 8, and 9-year-olds. Because getting your embouchure right is hard for a grown-up who can concentrate and focus and all that. It's pretty difficult for a kid, so you got to work with them a lot to get it. But I think I can get some sound out of this one. Yeah, it's pretty neat. These are a little bit more work to play than the ones that I make for my face. Mm-hmm. But what I've figured out is that there's a combination shapes that I can make that work with different people's faces. Western folks have hawk faces, and the Chinese and Japanese flutes aren't designed for that. They're designed for, well, like this one. You know, it's got a huge, this part here has to be completely covered, which means if you got a hawk face, you know, if you got a Western face, then you gotta shave this. And typically, when I go to record, I typically shave all this, because just in case, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I've done okay so far. But this one is more. This one's got an interesting sound. This is I designed this one to be more like the Chinese, the older version, and it's like a Chinese monk's flute. They're a little bit more quiet. You know, they don't flow out with a lot of volume, but you can do some things with these that are really interesting that you can't do as easily with the others.
You get some overtones in there.
Yeah,
harmonics or whatever.
Yeah, it's a harmonic effect that happens when I. This is crazy how this works. You gotta drill when you drill through the nodes. Okay, you gotta leave like little points, little sharp places, and what it does is it turns the vortex going through there into vortices. It splits them up in a couple of directions, and if you get it right, you can get that. I'll try to do it again here. That's what you get, and just in that one space so far. I've been trying to figure out how to do it in some of the other note holes, but it's just kind of an anomaly. I'm learning about it. I'd love to go to China and learn more about them, you know.
Oh yeah.
But unless you're a spy, you ain't getting in.
That's so that whole thing originates in China.
Yeah. There were some Chinese monks that were getting persecuted in 680 or so, and I think it was a Ming Dynasty, and they were martial artists, and they were practicing Tai Chi, and they brought two things to Japan: a whip and these, and that was their first real, you know, kind of showing up on the scene, and people really playing them.
That's pretty cool.
And it's neat history.
So you have 4 students around here?
Yeah.
Wow. There's a little bit of that kind of stuff going on. It's kind of pretty...
Well, there's no shortage of hyperactive kids, man.
By the way, I tried to get a little video of this. So.
I know. It's okay.